Kavita Sharma. I'm the author of Past PMP in 21 Days Study Guide. If you are a PMP aspirant, you would see there are new announcement for the new PMP exam. This video is all about should you do it, should you not do it, what are the risks for you, and what are the benefits. Yes, there are benefits in case you want to do your PMP exam on the new curriculum. So let's get started. So all of you know that PMP exam is changing in July 2026. So what is changing? You're gonna see real world scenarios. You're gonna see much more difficult questions. You're gonna see analyzing questions, case studies, and the case studies involving hybrid, agile, and predictive methodologies. PMBOK 8 have changed. You can download it even today. It has changed, I think, on 14th November. So go ahead and have a look at the new PMBOK 8. I welcome this change. Reason, if you would have been oldie like me, you would have seen PMBOK 6 and PMBOK 7. Both are slightly apart. PMBOK 6 is more on process, 7 is much more flowy. Now PMBOK 8 is a combination of both. It is structured and it has fluidity as well. So PMBOK 8 is a welcome change. You're gonna see how project management should be done, what are the tools, what are the processes. A very nice way to go about. PMI is finally changing and coming back to its roots. So a very nice update. And you're gonna see the new resources like your ADPs, your course providers start giving you new curriculum starting 26th next year, April 2026, so that you can start preparing for the exam which is changing in July 2026. So what is changing? The first thing you notice around yourself is AI is replacing a lot of things. So obviously it makes sense for PMI to include AI in project management. So that is getting added. You're gonna see sustainable practices getting added in the questions as well as theory of the PMP exam. PMP exam is driven by something called ECO, Exam Content Outline, and is generally mapped with PMBOK. Till PMBOK 6, it used to get mapped with that. With PMBOK 7, a lot of things got changed. Now it's coming back. So you're gonna see new ECO. I will do a detailed ECO discussion in the next video, and I would also come out with the new PMBOK 8 video as to what has changed. So with this new ECO coming in, which is affecting your PMP exam, which is going to be changed in July 2026 next year, the ECO contains now AI, sustainable practices, much more topic to engage with stakeholders, and it has added another thing called outcomes and value focus on project deliveries. The methodology it's gonna cover is predictive, agile, and hybrid, and much more real-world project dynamics. Earlier, PMP exam questions were from 3 domains. Those domains remain the same, which were those we had people, process, and business environment domain. Um, However, the percentage of questions for people used to be 42%. Now it has reduced to 33%. So you're going to see less number of questions on people domain. What would be there in the people domain questions? Things like what kind of leadership style, how would you manage and engage with a stakeholder, and so on. Earlier, process questions. What is process questions or process domain? Things like how would you execute your project? How would you gather requirement? How would you manage risk? How would you do configuration management? All of these are process related questions. It used to get a coverage of 50% of the questions, now reduced to 41% of the questions. The next domain was business environment, still is, and the questions got changed. Earlier it had 8% of the coverage. Now the coverage is increased to 26%. This is a good percentage of increase. Um, and the reason for this increase is a lot of things are affecting project execution. So as a project manager, you need to be able to see a bigger picture, what is changing, how AI is changing, how business dynamics are changing your project structure or execution. Should you keep up the pace with that? Should you also look at the challenges which portfolio manager is looking at? Should you have a bigger, wider spectrum? So this is changed for good. So you should have, as a project manager, not only eyes for your project execution, but to a wider set of things. Lot of good changes which are coming out in 2026. The exam eligibility is changed only for the number of period you could go backward to count your project management experience. Rest of it remains same. For example, if you had 16 years of education, you need 3 years of project management experience. Remains same. If you have 12 years of education or less than 16, then you would need 5 years of project management experience. So remains same, does not change. However, you could go back only 8 years earlier to document your project management experience. This has now changed to 10 years. So you could go back to last 10 years and write down your project management experience details. Again, a very good change which PMI has introduced. So let's talk about the new PMP exam. The new PMP exam would have 185 questions. So you need to attempt 5 more questions. Earlier it was 180 questions and you were doing it in 230 minutes. Now the exam time is changed to 240 minutes. There were 2 breaks which were given inbuilt in the PMP exam, which were of 10 minutes break. Now the break time is changed to 5 minutes. So essentially what PMI has done is increased 5 questions and increased 10 minutes for you. The break time is slightly decreased, so it's again a good move. You at least get 4 hours to do your PMP exam and do 185 questions. Let's look at when and how the timeline gonna impact your project PMP preparation. There's something called pilot. PMI gonna roll out the new exam as a pilot for interested candidate. The rollout would begin from December 15. You should get registered for a pilot registration. Why? I will tell you in the next slide, but keep an eye open, see when the PMI is opening up the pilot registration, because when you sit for the PMP exam, you get 20% rebate in the PMP examination fee, which is pretty nice. Also, you get a free attempt in case you fail the PMP exam. So it is risk-free as well. So my suggestion, register for pilot. So let's come back to timeline. December 15th, the pilot opens. December 5th, you can sit for the PMP exam. The new material for the new PMP exam gonna start rolling out from April 2026. Because PMI preparing they have a team which prepares the PPTs and the exam questions, etc. It's the learning division. It's different than the examination division, but they also prepare the material accordingly and they push it to ATPs. So your ATPs, what is ATP? Authorized training providers like me can start rolling out the PMI authorized resources in April 2026, and you can sit for the exam in July 2026. In case you opt for a pilot, you need to have an early access of this. I will be preparing the new resources so that you do pass the PMP exam in January as and when it opens up. So let's look at the pilot. Okay, let's look at it in the next slide. So you have actually three options, not two options, if you're not rigid. The two black and white options you have is you take the current exam, you have June 2026, 6 more months to sit for the exam. So you can, if you have taken up a class with someone and you are preparing for the PMP exam, sit for your PMP exam with the pattern which you have prepared by June 2026. Or you can wait for the new exam to change and you can register for your PMP classes starting April and sit for the exam starting July 2026. In case you are much more entrepreneur, you should join the pilot program. I would say register for it and sit for the exam in the upcoming January or February, so that you get 20% rebate on the PMP examination fee. You also get a free attempt in case you fail. It's a risk-free pilot program for you. So join the pilot program starting December. Sit for a PMP class which is updated for you, which I'm doing in January. Gather all those new concept before you sit for the PMP exam. Do that exam, and it's risk-free. Even if you fail, you would get updated material in April and you can sit again free of cost in July. So do that. The only thing is you cannot take this exam from home. You have to go to a center and sit for the exam there. So that's how you can shape up the pilot program and shape up the new upcoming 2026 release. Your inputs would be taken in the new exam. My suggestion, anyone who's hearing this, join the pilot program. Do your PMP examination risk-free and pass the PMP exam. So if you are ready to get started, you can download the exam content. I told you about ECO. You can download it from here. That's a link. I would also publish the link so that you can get to see it, where to click. You can explore the PMP certification at PMI. This is again a PMI link. And you can register for my workshop. I'll give you a link which is available at kavitasharma.net. In case you have more questions, you can write to me at help@kavitasharma.net or you can comment on this video. Thank you so much for listening in. Have a very nice day. Bye-bye.